Hey guys, Old Guy Gaming here, back again with another MTG Arena video, and tonight we're going to be doing Jace Arcane Strategist. That is going to be the Planswalker deck. Let's pull that in for War of the Spark. So this is second of the two series that I'm doing for Planswalker decks towards the end of every standard meta. I always run out and grab the Planswalker decks and kind of give those a try. I find that they are good starting points for brand new players to the game in paper alone. These War of the Spark ones actually are pretty darn good. I mean, they're not they're not competitive. They're not top tier meta decks, but if you are a new player getting into Magic, they are a great foothold to get in. Go out and get your welcome decks coming up this weekend if you're going. Get out there and get your welcome decks. You get a whole bunch of free cards, and it's a good place to get started. And then while you're there, pick up one of the Planswalker decks. It's kind of the next progressive progress into your game, into your course into the game of Paper Magic. The upside to these, of course, is that you get a code, and I can show it to you because it doesn't matter because I've already cashed it in, for a Jace Planswalker deck in MTG Arena. So all the cards that are in the Planswalker deck itself, you get to translate over into Arena. The only thing I do wish they did do, of course, was translate the two packs that come in the Planswalker decks along with it. That would be nice, but hey, that's probably asking too much. So this one is obviously going to be targeted towards new players. So if you're a competitive player, you want to know what's in the Planswalker deck, here's a great way to go through. But we're going to go ahead and go through. If you do like the video, of course, by the way, like, subscribe, always does help out the channel. That would be fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at the deck itself. This one is a blue-green deck, sort of semi-built around the concept of proliferating. It's kind of interesting. As I've looked through this, I'm like, oh, I kind of see where this is going. So it starts off with 3 Pollenbright Druids. Obviously, it can either come with a +1/+1 counter on another creature to help further proliferate your proliferate. Try that one 2 times fast. Or it proliferates whenever it comes into play. Fantastic little card. You have the Merfolk Skydiver. Enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 token on creature you control. You can put it on yourself. It is a proliferate stronghold in itself. If you've got the 5 mana to dump into it, you can just continue to make your creatures on the board bigger. So that is actually really huge. Guildpact Informant kind of triggers. It's a 1/1 flyer for 3, and when it deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker, you proliferate. So it can be useful. So if they have no evasion, this could be helpful to your deck. All they need is something with reach or a flyer, and this kind of shuts this down. So it's kind of okay. Jace's Triumph, good card, good uncommon from War of the Spark. Draw 2 cards, and if you control a Jace Planeswalker, which you do, draw 3 cards instead. Stealth Mission helps you get more of those +1/+1 tokens around. Put a 2 +1/+1 tokens on target creature you control, and then a target creature your opponent controls does not block this turn. Band Together. I think it's interesting the title on this one because they're back in the days of covered wagons and black and white TV. Whenever I started playing, banding was what you would call now an evergreen word in Magic that allowed creatures to band together and kind of function as one creature for blocking. So many people couldn't quite figure out how that works, so they just kind of stopped using it, but this is basically how banding worked. Up to 2 creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power and toughness to another creature. So that's sort of the way. Then this is more of a fight kind of thing, but kind of works that way. But it's basically 2 creatures coming together to do it. Courage and Crisis, put a +1/+1 target on target creature control, and then proliferate. Again, we're kind of seeing where the theme on this one goes. New Horizons when it comes into play. This is they always have one of these in every cycle of the game. These 3 mana cost green spells that make your target land taps for 2 mana of any color kind of thing. This one's catch, of course, is that when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 token on a creature you control. Karai's in this one. Karai's actually really good. You see a lot of Karai competitively these days. You only do get 1, but she is a 7 loyalty 3 casting cost Planeswalker, which is just nuts. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and you can use her -1 to untap permanents you control. That can be anything, whether it be creatures, lands, whatever. Jace's Protection. This is, I think, one of the cards that's only keen to this one. I could be wrong. It's a 2/2 for 4, and whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 token on Jace's Protection. That's not bad. And it has an inbuilt ability, if you spend 4 mana, you can put a loyalty counter on Jace. So you can get closer to Jace's ultimate, which is actually pretty cool. We'll see that here in a second. Spark Double, we're seeing a lot of Spark Double, but for those who don't know, you may Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. If it is a creature, it enters an additional loyalty counter or a planeswalker, and instead isn't legendary to target permanent. So you can basically copy things, which if they have a whole bunch of these clone varieties, this happens to be one that comes with a +1/+1 token, and it loses its legendary abilities. You can have two legendary creatures, quote unquote, in play at the same time. Hulk is a 4/4, proliferates when it enters the battlefield. Jace's Ruse, they always have these cards in the Planeswalker decks. They have ways to go and fish the only individual Planeswalker that's in a Planeswalker deck. This one happens to be you can return 2 creatures of your opponents to their hand and then go find your Jace, whether it's in the graveyard or the library. Or am I wrong? Just reveal it. Yeah, no, your library or your graveyard. They always do the same thing. And then, of course, you have the Wardscale Crocodile, the... wishes it was a Vine Mare, but isn't a Vine Mare. It's a 5/3 with Hexproof. It does come with a copy of Bioessence Hydra. Now, I could see with the +1/+1 counters and all of the proliferate that's going on, this could get really scary really fast. But let's go ahead and talk about them. The Planeswalker that comes to this deck is Jace Arcane Strategist. Planeswalkers for the Planeswalkers deck are always usually powered down for a specific reason. These are not meant to be meta-breaking Planeswalkers by any stretch of the imagination. Occasionally, you do get those 6 casting cost Planeswalkers that are pretty good. I think Vraska is the one that comes off the top of my head that was actually still pretty good. And then I think the old Amonkhet Lily was better than the non-Planeswalker deck Lily that came in that set. But it's for 4 loyalty for 6 casting costs. He does have a static ability. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Again, going along with the proliferate. His +1 allows you to draw a card. Now that's pretty good. For 6 mana, it's a little tough, but that does enable his ability and start pumping up all of your proliferate creatures. His ultimate in the end, creatures you control can't be blocked this turn. So that is how you basically win the game. Now, if you watch the video previous to this one with my Gideon one, go ahead, go all the way to the last game and watch that one. I am able to get off a Planeswalker ultimate, which just tickled me to death to see that happen. You also get Karai's Dambreaker. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it proliferates. It is a 5/6 big blue creature. And Primordial Wurm, for reasons. I mean, I guess the idea is, of course, to try to put tokens on it, but everything above it already would have been out. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. It's a 7/6 beefy worm. That's kind of one of Green's things. You do get the artwork. This is something new I think they're doing, because I don't remember seeing this in other Planeswalker decks. You get all the artwork for War of the Spark for their lands, which I think is really cool. So you end up with enough to really kind of go with. And you get a Simic Guildgate on top of it for your dual lands. Let's go ahead and play some games with this and see how it does. Now, luckily for me, I am playing this on my son's account, so it's not going to take my win-loss record into play when it's calculating. But what I have found is I think that the matchmaker that decides who you play against does a pretty okay job against matching against people who have either lower powered decks or are running the starter decks or running like I've played other Planeswalker decks, for example, against each other. That's not always the case, though. Sometimes you do get the meta decks. It's a good starting point, just like all of the starting decks from War of the Spark or whenever you go through and run through the tutorial. They're good starting points for the game, but they're not gonna get you to Mythic rank with these decks, I can assure you. There we go, finally. You're not going to see this in the final cut, but I waited a long time to get a matchup with T-Rash. Oh, I hope this is worth it. Whole bunch of mana. We do have the Skydiver. That's pretty good in a Blooming Hulk. I can see where this could go. Okay. Let's keep it and see what happens. We're going to probably drop this one of the Guildgates first because it's not going to do us any good. We have no 1-drops in the deck. Say hello and good game. That's what all the kids are doing these days now. Do the hello, good game. Pouncing Lux. Interesting. Let's go ahead and get that Skydiver down. Everything else I have is in 4. Ooh. Ooh, this could get harsh. I'm going to... Yeah, the Pouncing Lux I prefer not to attack. Thank you. Or block. Thank you very much. I'm just going to drop the Guildgate and hold. They both have first strike. No, this one does not have first strike. I'd like to keep the Skydiver on the board if I can. I recognize I'm going to take some punishment early, but as early as the next turn, I'm going to get the Blooming Hulk into play. Nope. Do I want to go Blooming Hulk or do I want to go Jace's Protection? I think I want to go Blooming Hulk just because I want that to be a little bit above that Lynx. Ooh, we got some flyers going down now. So let's go ahead and drop the Bloom Hulk. We'll submit that for 1. And there, now his Flying Pegasus and whatever creature he comes flying with, I've got a couple of answers to. It's going to get really interesting when we get these Jace's Protection out. More Trusted Pegasi. So let's go ahead and kill 1 Pegasi. Yeah, that's what I figured he was going to do. So we're going to block here and we're going to block here. So it's going to cost him 2 creatures. Don't know that I would have made that decision. No, I'm going to hold. Locks it on Sergeant. He's definitely playing a powered down deck. So, I think I'm going to go Stealth Mission so that I can ensure that and then I'm going to go no attack. On the next turn, I'm going to start proliferating my creatures. Ooh, Oketra is a bit scary. I'm definitely going to want to double proliferate now. Or I can cast a creature to allow me to proliferate. That works too. Now, the trick is, because that's going to go over Oketra. No, I've got to hold. Because Oketra's going to come in on the flying. No, I am going to hold. I'd really like to get... Ooh, the Ajani's Pridemate. That's going to be a little bit scary. What does he have that's lifelink? Nothing so far. Yeah, Oketra is going to be a problem. He's going to get wide really fast. Can I still pull this off? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can. I'm going to put that on one of these. I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to proliferate. Nope, I'm good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more mana, and I can do that twice. Pollenbright Druid works for me. We're going to proliferate. And we're going to proliferate. See how big these guys are getting? No, we're good. So now it's a question of who flinches first. And it's going to be him. My guess he's going to give that to Oketra, which is a bad call. Like, I can kill everything he's attacking with right now. There's a lot of damage floating out, though. Interesting choice. So I'm going to go ahead and block here to here. Block here to here. Block here to here. And let's kill one of the Johnny's privates. How much is that? That's 12 right there. This is going to get me pretty low. If I did them, I think he still probably has me. Yep. Just too many creatures. Oh, Catcher coming out, like getting all the extra zombies really helped him on that one. Darn. I thought we had something going there for a bit. Alright, let's keep going. It is a Planeswalker deck, so I do not have the highest of hope for a win percentage, but I always try to have at least a rule of getting at least one win in with a Planeswalker deck. It can be done. It can be done. That was an interesting deck. That was kind of cool to see, because that wasn't like a top-tier meta deck in any way, shape, or form. It was really neat. There we go. The Paras does take a little bit longer, it seems, whenever trying to pair up against a Planeswalker deck. So I do give it credit. I did not get like a red burn or anything like that. No creatures off the bat. I'm a little concerned about that, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan that. And I end up with the same problem. I guess I'm going to have to deal with it. The Guildpact Informant in turn 3, maybe? With Courage and Crisis following right up after it? I could see that, maybe. Watch, I'm going to get a Merfolk deck. That's what's going to happen. No, way too high of casting costs. I need low casting cost stuff. Say hello. Good game. That's what the kids are doing. Please don't be mono blue. Please don't be mono blue. Please don't be mono blue. Okay, it's not. Woo! So in order for that to work, it needs to have a token on it to be able to, for the proliferate really to kind of work. Oh no. Oh no. Please tell me I didn't get a control deck. I'm just going to stealth mission it next turn. So this isn't the normal type of control deck I'm used to. When I see those blue-white covers, I usually get scared. I'm like, oh no, what am I getting into? But hopefully this is okay. This is more fun blue-white than it is, you know, completely shut you down. It's a high alert deck. Oh, interesting. Interesting choice for that. And proliferate. How long is he going to wait to let that continue to happen? Oh no. No! This is standard control, but just not nearly as bad. That's not cool at all. Only 2 creatures. That's not helpful at all. That's not helpful at all. So my suspicion is he's not gonna...
Here we go.
As I say, my suspicion is he's not gonna attack, because if he does, he's gonna lose to Fairy. Yep, this is the high alert variety.
Talk to the wall.
Talk to the wall. Yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with that. So I gotta put some blockers down, which is a shame. Although I could have done that. think I'll have to do that next turn. Jace's Ruse. Go get my Jace. I assume he's going to... Yeah, about that.
This is what I trained for.
Yeah, this is going to stink.
Oh, I've done the
Now this is classic blue-white control. This is a little bit powered down, I'm not going to lie, but this is classic blue-white control for you. Well, unless I get something spectacular on the next turn, I am definitely dead. Pollenbright Druid. Let's go there and there. Watch him have a counter. Sure does, and then it's going to be a good game. This is not a... Like I said, not a classic control deck. This is the more high alert deck, but this is not a deck you should put up against a Planeswalker deck because it's just not got the firepower to put up with this one. But it is what it is. Alright, so we have a rule. We have to get at least one win out of a Planeswalker deck. We can try. So we're going to go one more final game with Jace Arcane Strategist and see how it does. There we go. Again, I'm going to edit all that out, but there was a long time in between the amount of time it took to get to the next game. Art of Woe. Okay, I can see this. I can absolutely see this. Ooh. Classic mono white life gain. Yep, I'll have to take that. And smile. Yep, all he needs is the a Johnny's Pride mate, and we are in some trouble. Ooh. That's a little scary. No, thank you. I could go Kumena, but that's just not gonna... It's not gonna help. It might.
Sun in the sky, brine on my skin. Great day to fight.
Because I can drop a land, I'll be able to get out the 5/6. Well, I'll be able to get I'll be able to get Bloomhulk no matter what. It's a turn, he's not attacking me. I think I'm just going to take that.
I sure belly flopped.
Revitalize. Yeah, this is a... Yeah, we are in some trouble, kids. He doesn't have the mana to pump up Resplendent, so he might think twice about doing that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, not yet. You can have that. Oh my goodness. So let's go. Give him something to think about. If he gives me one more turn, I'm going to have my... I will trade a Resplendent. Just in case he decides to bump her up somehow. I will trade that factory that the Resplendent represents. Oh. Oh, so disappointing. Oh, that's game right there. I have nothing to deal with the flying at the moment. And unless I have something that could... Oh, shall I? Ooh. That's just going to put her back in the hand for a turn. Not much we can do. So that's a shame. They tend to underpower the blue decks. Well, they tend to underpower these decks, period. But at least with the, at least whenever I did the Gideon one, at least I squeezed a win out of that one. But not this time around. Sure. Not that it matters. Oh well, that's a little disappointing. But it is what it is. It is a Planeswalkers deck, so not much you can do. Alright, so whenever I have performances like this go, how would I improve this? So if it were me, how would I improve this deck? So let's go ahead and take a look. One of the first things I'd like to look at is the fact that I don't feel that it was well representing the proliferate mechanic as well as it should have, and it definitely didn't have the 1-drops that it needed. Where did that go? There it is. So I'd bump Pollenbright Druids up to 4. I'd definitely bump up the Skydivers to 4. I'd consider maybe keeping this one. Jace's Triumphs would be kind of good. I can kind of see... Like, okay, so Band Together should go. New Horizon... Karai maybe would go. Jace's Protection and Spark Double probably on the list of stuff I go. Things I would add. Let's take a look. So, So there's so many good cards in these colors that proliferate. Contentious Plan, for example, could take the place of Jace's Triumph. I get where it's going, but it also includes all that. I would potentially consider... I definitely want to add the Skydiver. You definitely want to add more of those. Karn's Bastion. Karn's Bastion's a nice, cheap way to get it in. It also goes past like the 5 mana you need here. Karn's Bastion might work. What this card is missing is... I don't know. This deck's missing some removal. So I'd consider things maybe like Rabid Bite. Like, you want to get other creatures off the board. Like, that's one of the problems that we had, is we couldn't get rid of a lot of his creatures. Sleep would be another good card to add to this one too, but that's all rotating out. And we never got to use the Bioessence Hydra. Like, that would be an awesome one. Maybe bump that up to a few. So if you have suggestions on how you would increase this proliferate deck to go for the blue-white or blue-green variety, let me know in the comments down below. It would be super helpful. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe always helps out the channel. And, of course, there is a Patreon if you are so inclined. That is patreon.com/oldguygamingmtga. And until next video, guys, we shall see you in the arena. This video was brought to you in no small part by our patrons. If you would like to help out the channel, go to www.patreon.com/oldguygamingmtga, and thank you